The group chat exploded with laughing emojis the moment I posted the link. Seriously, Megan, a cat channel. This is what you're doing with your film degree, recording Mr. Whiskers eating. I give it 2 weeks before you give up LOL. I stared at my phone, at the messages from my college friends, people I'd gone to film school with, people who were now working as production assistants and junior editors and struggling freelancers in LA. People who, like me, had massive student loan debt and even bigger dreams that weren't panning out. The difference was I'd just uploaded my first video to a YouTube channel called Mr. Whiskers Daily Adventures, and they thought it was the saddest thing they'd ever seen. "It's just for fun," I typed back, "and maybe some passive income if it takes off." Passive income from cat videos? Meg, there are 1 million cat channels. Nobody's waiting for yours. I almost deleted the channel right then. Almost let their mockery convince me that this was stupid, that I should focus on real work, that filming my cat doing normal cat things was a waste of the expensive film education I'd barely finished paying for. But then I looked at Mr. Whiskers, currently sitting in a cardboard box that was way too small for him, looking absolutely ridiculous and perfectly content. And I thought, why not? What did I have to lose besides pride I couldn't afford anyway? So I kept filming. 6 months earlier, I'd moved back to my hometown of Portland after 3 years of trying to make it in Los Angeles. I'd been a production assistant on commercials, an assistant editor on a short film that never got distribution, a camera operator for a wedding videography company. I'd worked 80-hour weeks for barely minimum wage, lived with 4 roommates in an apartment that should have housed 2, and slowly watched my dreams of being a cinematographer die under the weight of reality. The breaking point had come when I'd been passed over for a promotion, again, in favor of someone whose dad knew people in the industry. I'd been better qualified, had more experience, had worked harder. None of it mattered compared to connections I didn't have. So I'd come home to Portland, moved into my childhood bedroom, and gotten a job managing social media for a local coffee shop chain. It paid $42,000 a year, twice what I'd been making in LA, and I could actually afford my own apartment and my student loan payments. It was practical, responsible, completely soul-crushing. My film school friends had been sympathetic at first. "You'll come back to LA when you save up some money," they'd said. "This is just temporary." But after a few months, the sympathy had turned to judgment. I'd given up. I'd quit. I'd abandoned the dream we'd all shared of working in real film and television. Mr. Whiskers had been an accident, a stray I'd found outside my new apartment, skinny and loud and demanding to be let inside. I'd taken him to the vet, posted on social media trying to find his owner, and when nobody claimed him after 3 weeks, I'd accepted that I now had a cat. He was weird, endearingly, charmingly weird. He had a fascination with boxes. Any box, any size. He had to sit in it, regardless of whether he fit. He'd sit in the kitchen sink and yell at the faucet. He'd help me work by sitting on my laptop keyboard. He'd do this thing where he'd run at full speed across the apartment, leap at nothing, and then act like it never happened. I started filming him just to send videos to friends. "Look at this idiot," I'd caption them. And people loved it. Not everyone, but enough people that I thought, maybe this could be something. So I created a YouTube channel. Applied everything I'd learned in film school, composition, lighting, storytelling, to filming a cat. Edited the videos with the same care I'd edited my film school projects. Added subtle music, occasional text overlays explaining Mr. Whiskers' thoughts, kept each video under 3 minutes. My first video got 47 views, my second got 89, my third got 203, not viral numbers, but steady growth. And I was having fun in a way I hadn't had fun in years. No demanding directors, no 16-hour shoots, no politics or nepotism, just me, my camera, and a weird cat doing weird cat things. Then, my friends found the channel, and the mockery began. Megan's big film career, cat videos. Remember when we were going to work on Oscar-winning movies? Now Megan's content with YouTube cat content, lol. This is depressing. She had so much talent. I almost quit, but I'd invested in some basic equipment, a ring light, a better microphone, editing software. And honestly, the cat videos were the only thing keeping me sane while working a job I didn't care about, so I kept posting 3 times a week religiously. Mr. Whiskers discovers a box, Mr. Whiskers versus the Roomba, Mr. Whiskers' existential crisis in the bathtub. After 3 months, I had 1,000 subscribers. After 6 months, 5,000. The algorithm started picking up my videos. People were commenting, sharing, telling me Mr. Whiskers made their day better. And then, 8 months after I started, I posted a video titled Mr. Whiskers Helps Me Apply for Jobs, where he walked across my laptop keyboard repeatedly while I was trying to update my resume. I filmed it because it was funny. I posted it because people liked seeing Mr. Whiskers' helpful behavior. It went viral, properly viral. 1 million views in 24 hours, 2 million by the end of the week. Suddenly I had 100,000 new subscribers. Brands were reaching out about sponsorships. YouTube was sending me partnership offers. My friends' group chat went silent. The money started slowly, then exponentially. Ad revenue from viral videos, sponsorship deals with cat food companies and pet supply brands, merchandise. People actually wanted t-shirts with Mr. Whiskers' face on them. In 3 months, I was making more from YouTube than from my coffee shop social media job. In 6 months, I quit my day job. My boss understood. Go make cat videos for a living, she'd said, laughing but also genuine. That's the dream, isn't it? Getting paid to do something you love? A year after starting the channel, I had 2 million subscribers and was making 6 figures. I'd moved into a bigger apartment with a dedicated studio space for filming. I'd bought professional equipment, cameras I'd dreamed of owning in film school but could never afford. I'd hired an editor to help manage the content load. And my film school friends finally broke their silence. Sarah, who'd been one of the most vocal mockers, sent me a DM. "Hey, saw your channel hit 2 million subscribers. That's insane. Congratulations. We should catch up sometime." Tom, who'd said I was wasting my talent, commented on one of my videos. "Amazing production quality. You're killing it." The group chat, which had been dead for months, suddenly came alive with congratulations and questions about how YouTube monetization worked and whether I'd consider collaborating. I didn't respond immediately. I was too busy filming Mr. Whiskers' adventures in the new apartment and editing a sponsorship video for a pet camera company that was paying me $15,000 for a 3-minute feature. But eventually, Sarah called. "Megan! Oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking to a YouTube celebrity." "I'm not a celebrity, I just film my cat. You have 2 million subscribers. That's more than some TV shows get viewers. And I saw you're making bank on sponsorships. This is incredible." "Thanks." A pause. "Look, I know we were kind of shitty when you started the channel. We didn't think it would actually work. We thought you were giving up on real filmmaking." "I know. You made that pretty clear. We were wrong, obviously. And Meg, I'm still in LA, still working PA jobs for barely anything, still hoping for my big break. You actually made it. You found a way to use your skills and make a living doing something creative. That's what we all wanted, and you're the only one who actually did it." By filming my cat. Not exactly the cinematic vision we had in film school. Who cares? You're working for yourself. You're making art. Yeah, it's cat videos, but they're really well-made cat videos. You're financially stable. You're happy. That's more than any of us can say. I thought about that. She was right. I was happy. happier than I'd been chasing some abstract dream of working on real films while being broke and exploited in LA. "I'm sorry we mocked you," Sarah continued. "We were jealous. We were watching you do something different and succeed at it while we were stuck in the same cycle of low-pay gigs and broken promises. It was easier to laugh at you than to admit maybe you'd figured something out that we hadn't. I just filmed my cat, Sarah. I didn't figure anything out except that people like watching cats do weird things. No, you figured out that you didn't have to follow the traditional path, that you could use your skills in unexpected ways. That success doesn't have to look like what we imagined in film school. That's huge, Meg. That's what all of us are still trying to learn." 2 years after starting Mr. Whiskers' Daily Adventures, I had 5 million subscribers, had published a coffee table book called Wisdom from Mr. Whiskers, and had been approached about a Netflix show concept, and I got invited to speak at my film school's career day. I almost said no. The irony of returning to the school where I'd studied Kubrick and Spielberg to talk about my cat channel seemed too absurd. But then I thought about all the students who were probably where I'd been, massively in debt, dreaming big, about to face a brutal industry that chewed up and spit out most people who entered it. So I went. The auditorium was full of students who looked exactly like I'd looked 6 years earlier, hopeful, talented, naive about what they were about to face. I saw some of my former professors in the back, probably curious about why they'd invited the cat video person to speak. "I graduated from this program 6 years ago," I started. "I wanted to be a cinematographer. I wanted to work on major films. I wanted to win awards and be taken seriously as an artist. Instead, I filmed my cat. And I'm here to tell you, that's okay." And I talked about LA, about struggling, about being broke and exploited and watching people with less talent but better connections succeed while I barely survived. I talked about moving home, about getting a normal job, about feeling like a failure. And then I started filming Mr. Whiskers, just for fun, just because it made me laugh. My friends, people from this program, mocked me. They said I was wasting my degree, wasting my talent, that cat videos weren't real filmmaking. 18. I pulled up one of my videos on the screen behind me, a particularly popular one, where Mr. Whiskers investigated a new toy with the intensity of a documentary filmmaker. But look at this. Look at the composition, the lighting, the editing, the storytelling. Yes, there's storytelling in a cat video. I'm using everything I learned here. I'm using professional equipment. I'm creating content that millions of people watch and love and share. I'm making a living as a filmmaker. It just doesn't look like I thought it would. I looked out at the students. Some of you will work in traditional film and television. Some of you will do commercials or music videos. Some of you might end up filming cats or dogs or cooking or crafts or anything else people want to watch on YouTube or TikTok or whatever platform comes next. And all of that is valid. All of that is filmmaking. All of that is using the skills you're learning here to create content and tell stories and make a living. A student raised her hand. But don't you feel like you're wasting your potential? Like you could be doing more important work? I make content that brings joy to millions of people. I employ an editor and occasionally hire other creators. I support myself entirely through my art. I'm happy. What part of that is wasted potential? But it's just cat videos. Ash, right now, traditional entertainment is struggling. Movies are barely getting theatrical releases. TV shows are getting cancelled after one season. The industry we all dreamed of joining is shrinking, while independent content creation is exploding. I have more creative control, make more money, and reach more people than most of my friends who are still trying to break into Hollywood. So yeah, it's just cat videos. But those cat videos gave me the career I wanted, just in a different package than I expected. After the talk, several students came up to me. Some wanted advice on starting YouTube channels. Some wanted to know about equipment. One girl said, "Thank you, I've been making cooking videos, but I felt like it wasn't legitimate filmmaking. But you're right, I'm using everything I learned here. It counts." "It absolutely counts," I told her. "Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." My former professor, Dr. Richardson, approached as the crowd thinned. He'd been my favorite teacher, the one who'd pushed me hardest, who'd believed in my talent. "That was a great talk, Megan. Honestly, better than I expected when I heard you were coming to talk about your cat channel. You thought it would be bad. I thought it would be defensive, like you'd try to justify why cat videos are as important as auteur cinema or something. Instead, you were honest and practical and gave these kids advice they actually need, that success doesn't always look like you expect it to. Did you think I was wasting my degree when you heard what I was doing?" He considered that. "At first, maybe. I remembered you as this passionate student who wrote brilliant papers about cinematography and visual storytelling. The idea of you filming a cat seemed like a waste, but then I actually watched your channel. Megan, your work is technically excellent. The storytelling is clever, you're good at what you do, and you're probably more financially stable than most of the graduates from your year. So no, you're not wasting anything, you're succeeding. It just looks different than I expected. My friends from film school eventually stopped asking me to collaborate or help them break into YouTube. Most of them stayed in LA, still chasing the dream, still struggling. A few moved home like I had, got day jobs, stopped pretending they were one big break away from making it. Sarah was one of the few who took my path seriously. She started a channel about her attempts to cook, while her dog helped. Basically, her dog being chaotic in the kitchen while she tried to make dinner. Last I heard, she had 500,000 subscribers and had quit her PA job. "You were right," she told me over video chat. "This is so much better than what I was doing. I'm using my skills. I'm my own boss. I'm happy. I'm sorry I laughed at you. It's okay. You weren't wrong to be skeptical. Most YouTube channels fail. Most creative ventures fail. I got lucky." It wasn't just luck. You were consistent. You made quality content. You understood your audience. That's not luck, that's skill. 3 years after starting, Mr. Whiskers' Daily Adventures hit 10 million subscribers. I'd expanded to other platforms, TikTok, Instagram, even a Twitch stream where Mr. Whiskers just napped while I worked and people watched because apparently that was entertaining. I'd bought a house, paid off my student loans, saved more money than my parents had managed to save in their entire careers, and I'd done it all filming a cat doing cat things. My friends had laughed when I started. They'd mocked my cat channel as the sad end of a promising film career. They'd made jokes about wasted potential and film degrees being used for YouTube content. Now I owned a 1 million-view channel, actually multiple videos with over 1 million views, including several with over 10 million. I made more money than most traditional filmmakers. I had complete creative control. I worked from home. I was genuinely happy. And those friends. Some were still laughing, nervous laughter now, the kind that comes from watching someone succeed at something you made fun of. Some were asking for advice. Some were quietly starting their own channels, trying to replicate what I'd accidentally figured out. I didn't gloat, didn't say, "I told you so." Didn't need to. My success spoke for itself. My friends laughed when I started filming my cat. Now I own a channel with millions of views and more financial security than most film school graduates ever achieve. Turns out, success doesn't always look like you expect it to. Sometimes it looks like a weird cat in a box that's too small for him, filmed with professional equipment and edited with the same care as any Oscar-nominated film. Sometimes the dream doesn't die. It just transforms into something unexpected. And sometimes the people who laugh at you first are the people who wish they'd had your courage to try something different. Mr. Whiskers was currently sleeping in a designer cat bed I'd bought with money from a sponsorship deal. He had no idea he'd made me a millionaire. He just knew he got treats and attention and occasionally had to tolerate a camera in his face. And I had no idea, when I filmed that first video, that it would change my life. I just knew I had a weird cat and a film degree and nothing to lose by trying. That was enough.